Hi, Jamisha. I just got your message. I finally took my lunch break, so sorry that I'm late.
Are you having your lunch break now? What a nasty company. I'm sorry to hear that you have to work like a slave.
That's not true. Lunch for the residents is our priority. So for the staff, our lunch is always served at this time. To be honest, I don't really mind. By the way, how can I help you?
Oh, yes. What's with that bad lunch you made?
Bad lunch? I made some sandwiches and soup today.
I can't eat that. The ingredients are so bland. The seasoning is thin and the bread is a bit hard. Are you going to make me eat something that tastes so bad every day?
I think there was nothing wrong when I made it since I tasted all of them. But sorry if I disappointed you.
Don't make excuses. It must have tasted bad when you made it, since it tastes this bad. You didn't do your best because it was my lunch, right?
No, that's not true.
When are you going to get better at cooking? Well, I can't expect you to do that if you're always dealing with old people every day.
Jamisha, please don't talk like that. Cooking has nothing to do with my current job.
You have to work feverishly because of your low income, right? If you're like that, you'll get tired and cut corners on the housework.
I'm not cutting corners.
How can you say that after serving me that terrible lunch? If you don't want me to complain, you should make a better dish. You're so annoying.
I think you've gone too far, Jamisha.
I thought you'd be a better wife, but in fact, you are really useless. I wonder why my son decided to get married to you. This is just unacceptable. Why don't you learn about how to do household chores properly before concentrating on your work?
I'm not useless. Besides, I'm not a servant nor a slave.
How dare you talk back to me again? Looks like talking back to me is the only thing you're capable of doing. You're no better than a housekeeper or a slave.
I can't believe you just said that. You're being too harsh.
If you feel that way, you should take your housework a little more seriously. You have no right to talk back to me, Amelia.
Yes, I understand. Jamisha, I just saw your message. What's wrong?
Oh, Amelia. Actually, the clothes I had ordered from the department store are arriving today. Can you pick them up after work?
Today?
Yes, because they arrived today.
The department store is in the opposite direction, and the cars will be crowded during the rush hour when I'm about to go home. Can I do that on my day off?
What? I called you because I wanted you to get it today. Why can't you understand that?
If I go to the department store, I'm sure I'll be home late today.
I don't want you to come home late. I mean, if you do that, dinner will be served late too. My son will get hungry when he arrives home.
I know. Please wait until my day off. I'll get the clothes for you.
Huh? Are you trying to take away my fun?
What?
It was a dress I really wanted, and they didn't have it in my size when I visited the shop. So I had to order it. I was so looking forward to receiving it.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I have to go shopping for dinner. If I go to the department store, I'll be late.
That's enough. I won't ask you anymore. You're really useless no matter what I ask you.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about dinner. Just go get me some clothes.
What? But then, who's gonna prepare the dinner?
Landon and I are going to go eat Chinese food nearby.
Are you talking about the fancy restaurant near here?
Yes. Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. But isn't it a little overpriced? That restaurant is for some special occasion. I'll buy you a takeout meal to eat right away.
Oh, are you worried about the money?
To be honest, yes.
I can understand that because you're an incompetent person with low income. But don't worry. My son, unlike you, is super bright.
What do you mean?
As you know, Landon graduated from a prestigious university. He also got a job at a well-known company in our hometown. He's in good hands, so you don't have to worry about money. An incompetent wife like you should just shut up and do as you're told.
That's not true. As a matter of fact, Landon is...
Stop nagging me. Why do you always talk back to me? Can't you even say yes once in a while? Anyway, go get my clothes. Did I make myself clear to you, Amelia?
Yes, Jamisha. As you wish. Hi, Jamisha. Sorry I'm late to reply again. What is this picture you sent me?
It's a credit card bill. I wonder why you ask me such a stupid question. Nothing more than that.
I understand that, but why are you sending me this?
Because I want you to deposit money. Can't you even understand that?
Why do I have to deposit the money?
Because it's my order.
Wait a minute. There's no way I can deposit $2,000.
Why not?
In the first place, what did you use that money for?
Well, various things.
What do you mean by various things?
Do I even have to give a breakdown to you? I used that for buying clothes, lunch with friends, and for the Chinese dinner the other day. By the way, I wonder if it also includes the cost of that overnight trip I took with a friend the other night.
You spent all of that money alone?
That's right. To stay young forever, you need to invest in yourself.
So you're talking about self-investment. It's just a luxury expense, isn't it?
Luxury expense? That's rude.
I can't pay $2,000 for your overly extravagant purchases. I'm sorry, but you will have to pay for it yourself.
Huh? What are you talking so cheekily about? You're relying on my son's income to pay your bills. You have a low income from an incomprehensible job, but you're being so pompous and arrogant.
I beg your pardon?
If you can't pay my credit card bill, why don't you change your job? Try to find a job that pays a little better.
I don't have a low-income job. And about your son's income?
Shut up! How much more are you willing to go against me? You can't even do a single household chore.
I'm not talking about housework now, am I? I can't pay what I can't pay no matter what you say.
If you say you can't pay for this, then get out of this house.
Excuse me?
No matter how good my son is, you're relying too much on that boy's income. Anyway, I'm the boss in this house. Go and deposit the $2,000. If you refuse, I'll have you leave this house.
Oh no. I'll talk to my husband about this.
Amelia, Did you give me a call a while ago?
I did. Where are you now?
I had to take care of something.
You shouldn't waste your time, Landon. If you've got the time, maybe you should go into the field and study.
Yeah, I'll do that starting tomorrow. So, what is it?
Your mother asked me to deposit $2,000 into the account.
$2,000? For what?
Apparently, it's the money she spent on shopping and fun. She paid everything with credit card.
Really? That's so typical of her.
What do you mean? We can't afford to pay $2,000 that your mother spent on fun right now. You should talk to your mother first.
But it won't do you any good, even if I tell my mother. My mother is a person who thinks that whatever she said is absolute.
We don't have time for jokes like that.
I know, but...
Besides, your mother thinks of me as a slave. Wait, let me correct that. She said I'm less than a slave.
Seriously? She might be right about that.
What? I work full-time and do all the housework. I'm neither a slave nor less than a slave. I'm doing my duty as a wife.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you? In my house, my mother's word has always been absolute.
I'm being treated so harshly and unreasonably. Are you telling me that you won't defend me?
What's the point of defending you? My mom's right anyway.
I don't think that's the point. You're my husband, right? Tell her that we can't pay for her credit card bill, okay?
I don't want to do that. Mom's gonna talk me out of it anyway. If you really can't pay, why don't you tell her?
Huh? Why should I do that? She's your mother, right? I think you should tell her exactly what's going on with you right now, too.
Give me a break.
That's my line. Anyway, you should tell your mother about the $2,000. I'm sure your mother won't be listening to me.
Okay. Hey, Amelia? Did you deposit the $2,000?
Jamisha, me and my husband can't deposit that money.
Huh? How incompetent are you? Are you incapable of doing what I say?
Because that money is mostly for your entertainment expenses. It's not money we need to live on, is it? Why should we pay such money? I just can't understand it.
You can't even do the housework and you only have a low-income job. You should pay that much since you're being such an incompetent wife.
No matter how you look at it, that's the money you should be paying.
How much more of a useless wife can you be? What I say is absolute in this house. My son grew up learning that.
I told him that you want us to put $2,000 in the bank account.
I know. He told me too. It sounds like you've been bad-mouthing me a lot, huh? That I'm treating you like a slave? You want him to tell me that you can't deposit the money, right?
Did he say it like that?
Landon trusts me. In this house, what I say is absolute. You are no better than a slave if you are always rebelling and disobeying me.
I'm not your slave.
I'm sure my son is annoyed because you're like that. Your expression always speaks loud.
Is he complaining so much about me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm sure he regrets marrying you since you're such an incompetent person. After all, Landon is a good boy who is capable and obedient to me. I'm sure he feels that marrying you is a hassle.
I don't think it's a hassle. Is that really what he thinks? I work and do all the household chores by myself. Why would he feel that it's troublesome?
Huh? How dare you say that you are doing the housework properly? I didn't think you were such a brazen wife. Then I guess I'll have to ask you to divorce my son.
Divorce?
Yes. We don't need an incompetent wife who does nothing but rebel against her mother-in-law. I want Landon to leave you immediately. You were the wrong wife for this house. I'm going to find a new wife for the sake of my son and family.
So, you're telling me that you want a wife who doesn't work and is good at housework. I see. I understand. But even if that works for you, I wonder if Landon will agree with that.
You don't have to worry about that.
That's not how it works. You are too harsh.
Stop blabbering nonsense. I'm asking you so much, and you're reluctant to even pay my credit card bill? You are a lousy wife. Honestly, I can't deal with you anymore.
What?
I'm going to ask Landon to write the divorce papers, and I need you to sign your name on the form and turn it in.
I've never discussed divorce with my husband. But you still want us to get a divorce?
Yes, I do. I know that Landon agrees with me. So, I want you to pack up your stuff and leave today. Is that clear?
Okay then.
Amelia, I need to ask you something.
What is it? I already cut ties with you, so I have nothing to do with you.
That's not important. Can you explain why my son is fired from his job? He said that you fired him.
Yes, you're right. Your son was fired by me.
Huh? What do you mean?
I've been telling you that I have a proper job, but you didn't listen to me.
I don't remember you telling me that. You've been working a low-income job for a while now, haven't you?
I'm a caregiver.
I know what that is. It's not a lucrative job.
Our work is not lucrative or unprofitable.
That's why you keep doing that job to keep yourself afloat.
I'm on the front lines of caregiving myself, but I'm also the manager of a facility.
What? You mean you're the president?
I don't really like the term president, but I guess that's what it means.
You're kidding, right? I can't believe you're the president. And why should you fire a good boy like Landon?
You don't know anything about him.
What are you talking about?
Your son was fired from his previous company too.
Fired? When was that?
About 2 months ago.
What? Why was he fired?
He was very unprofessional at work.
That must be a mistake. My son is a good man.
But it's true that he was fired. He was absent without notice, harassed other employees, and even violated the company rules.
I can't believe he did that. So you're saying that he has been unemployed for the past few months?
Yes, that's right. I told him many times to look for a job, but he didn't want to move on his own. When I suggested him to work at my nursing home, he said he'd do his best, so I offered him the job.
You gave him a job offer, but in the end you fired him?
Yes, I did.
How could you do such a terrible thing?
Your son used the privilege of being my husband to access the facility's office. He was stealing money from the safe under the watchful eye of the staff.
No kidding. There's no way my son would do such a thing. It's just a story you made up, isn't it?
I'm telling you the truth. The clerk insisted that the books didn't match the cash, so I was trying to figure out why. I checked the security camera in the office just to be sure. I found footage of your son opening the safe and taking the money. I fired him immediately.
Oh no, there's no way that boy would do something like that.
He was fired from his last job, but he wasn't even looking for a job. Also, he was away a lot. Apparently, your son was addicted to gambling.
Gambling?
Maybe he thought it was just a change of pace at first. But he had too much time on his hands, so he got more and more addicted. By the time I realized it, he had used up all my savings. But he still couldn't quit gambling, and it seems he was stealing money from my company. It's theft, isn't it?
Theft?
Or maybe it's embezzlement since he was betraying me, whom I trusted, and stealing from me. I'm now discussing with my lawyer about your son.
Oh no. Does that make my son a criminal? You are the president of the company, aren't you? Do something about it.
There's no way I can help your son, because your son's theft was caught on the security camera. The entire staff knows about it. I can't just pretend I don't know about it.
So why don't you just take advantage of your privilege as president?
Why should I do that? As a business owner, I should never do that.
Are you telling me that you don't care about what happens to my son?
Because it can't be helped. He's the one who's responsible for his own bad behaviors. Or are you telling me that your son can't even make his own decision?
I don't think so.
Besides, even if he had gotten a job with us as planned, he'll be fired anyway.
Why?
Because of absenteeism, power harassment of other employees, and violations of the company rules. He was fired from his previous job because of the same reasons. I don't think someone like him can just change his behaviors in a short period of time. I think your education must have been a problem too.
Huh? Is it my fault? I raised my son diligently. That's why I brought up an excellent son.
Your excellent son is absent without permission most of the time. He's also harassing his coworkers. Besides, he embezzled from the company. Is that what you call an excellent son?
That can't be true. Then what's going to happen to that boy?
We'll probably have to sue him for embezzlement. We're talking with our lawyer in that direction.
So the police will get him too?
I guess so. Besides, I'll also charge him alimony for the divorce. He didn't even bother to search for another job after he quit his last job. He wasn't willing to help me when you bullied me. He embezzled money by taking advantage of the fact that his wife is the president of the company. There's no reason I can't charge for the alimony, right?
He's your ex-husband. You must give him a little preferential treatment.
I refuse. He's the one who was so oblivious when I asked for help. By the way, your credit card bill of $2,000 will be charged to you. Don't forget about that.
Well, I guess I should use my son's savings.
Huh? Don't you understand what I just said? Your son has used up all his savings while he was unemployed. I'm sure he's penniless now.
No way. That's why I told you to deposit the money.
You've got to be kidding me. Why should I pay you with the money I worked so hard for? I don't get it. I've had enough.
Oh no. What's going to happen to my son and me now?
You just need to be prepared for the worst. I think it's the result of treating your son's wife like a slave and spending as much as you want. Because your son was raised by you who seems to lack common sense. I think he might have had something important as a human being distorted. In a way, he is a victim of your education.
What a terrible thing to say. I've lived with you as your mother-in-law and you don't even want to help me?
There is no way I owe you anything after being treated so terrible like that. I will never speak to you or your son again. Please do not contact me ever again. If you ever come near me, I will report you to the police without hesitation. So please be prepared for that.
Are you serious? Please help us.
Absolutely not. Please think about what you've done. Besides, I'm no longer married to your son. I will block your number too.
Amelia, please. Don't abandon me and my son.
After that, I filed a claim for alimony against my ex-husband through my lawyer. Also, he was found guilty of embezzlement in my company and was fined about $5,000. However, my ex-husband, who could neither pay the alimony nor the fine, had no choice but to ask his relatives to pay it on his behalf. Because of that, now their relatives are giving them cold shoulders. The relatives also said that they will cut ties with Landon and his mother after the payment. Now they're renting a small apartment on the outskirts of town. Seems that they are also feeling ashamed of themselves. My ex-husband, who has not been able to find a regular job, has been working several part-time manual labor jobs. Jamisha is also working part-time as a cashier to make ends meet. Even so, it seems that they can barely make it through a month. Anyway, serves them right. As for me, I'm still working as a caregiver. I really want to devote myself to nursing care work, where I have direct contact with the residents. I've entrusted my father with the responsibility of being the president of my company. I want to continue doing my best to bring smiles to the faces of as many residents as possible.